Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Root QXC and TTOne here on Blistering Sands. And apparently TTOne opened up with random and then just got Protoss anyways. So anyways, Root QXC spawning here as the blue Terran player. Meanwhile, TTOne spawning on the north side as the red Protoss. Protoss versus Terran here on Blistering Sands. One of the things I guess a wish list for shoutcasters is that if a player does choose random, that you're able to see, or like, the loading screen of the game showing if a player did in fact choose random. We now see TTOne currently opening up with a pylon over here. Meanwhile, we have QXC opening up with the standard supply depot. Now, Blistering Sands is one of those maps where you have to be very, very aggressive just because of that backdoor set of rocks. Having two sets of rocks in order to try to defend, or having two sets of entrances in order to try to defend, makes it very, very difficult to take your natural expansion without getting harassed either at the backdoor rocks or at the natural expansion, as the walking distances between these two locations is actually almost seems closer for the person attacking you than you as the defender. You now see that there is a gateway currently being warped in as well, so it is going to be a standard opening coming in from TTOne. Nothing too out of the ordinary. No proxy pylons. We may have a 4-gate later, as once again I did say that this is a very, very aggressive map where aggressive play is generally rewarded. Currently getting a refinery as well, so Root QXC may be trying to go for a 3 racks build, 2 with Tech Labs, 1 with the reactor, and go mass Marine Marauder. However, that will fall very, very easily to Guardian Shield from those sentries, as I believe TTOne will have at least 1 to 3 sentries in this early portion of the game. We now see an upgrade to an orbital command currently being built over here, and now as these SCVs continue to just mine more minerals, they will get a stronger and stronger economic lead, especially with that one orbital command and those mules in play, as long as TTOne stops chrono boosting off of his Nexus. But it still looks like he's chrono boosting off of the Nexus, getting the Cybernetics core, and also getting an additional assimilator. QXC does not see that assimilator yet. Will be able to come up here in just a moment. There it goes, sees the new assimilator, and now knows that this is going to be more of a tech game as opposed to any fast expansion game coming in. So now we see a factory coming in from QXC. So QXC not going for mass Marines and Marauders, instead going for a factory, and doesn't have a second Vespene Geyser down yet. So I'm not exactly sure what his strategy will be. He could go for Hellions while trying to get a starport and train up a medevac. That would be a fairly decent opening here on Blistering Sands, as the map is fairly large. And now we see a bunker being placed down by QXC, so QXC being very aggressive and now taking down a scouting probe. So now there will be a low ground bunker for this one Stalker to try to deal with. Stalker, it will be able to easily take down this one SCV very easily. The SCV already down to 15 hit points, 5 hit points, and there it goes. This one bunker at 273 hit points, and those Marines now being forced to run all the way home. A new SCV and more Marines now coming in as well. So those Marines now trying to chase down that one Stalker, as that SCV just simply going to run by and start to build up this one bunker once again. So that bunker will be completed as that Stalker trying to run up that ramp. Will it be enough? Able to barely escape at 7 hit points. And this bunker will be done, so that Stalker will take some time to regenerate those shields, as a second gateway now being warped in, and now a third gateway being warped in as well. So yeah, the sentries and the Stalkers deciding to break their own backdoor rocks. He does not want to be contained, and we'll be able to walk down this ramp in just a moment. Warp gate research nearing completion, double sentries nearing completion as well. So these sentries will be able to hold off this ramp fairly easily. And now this one Marine being forced to walk all the way back home. Not exactly sure what it's going to be able to scout out, as QXC now getting the supply depot here. You do see that there is the bunker currently with 3 Marines inside. These rocks do have a lot of life in them, especially against sentries. Sentries deal only, 3 damage per attack, and attack very, very slowly. So they have the same base damage as a Marine, except they attack much more slowly, so they will not be able to take down that bunker very easily at all. We now see that there is going to be a push out from these units. Zealots will be trying to absorb the majority of that damage, as they do have a fair amount of hit points. And now in comes an SCV. The SCV is on auto repair, trying to repair it up. And now this one SCV SCV is going to get taken down, trying to deal more damage. That one, and now in comes a Hellion as well. So the Hellion now trying to get some additional damage. And now down goes those Marines. Those Marines were all very, very low on hit points to begin with. and TT1 has broken that contained there. We now see Banshees currently being built in addition to cloaking research. So we will now be moving into cloaked Banshees. I do not see... Oh, there is that robotics facility currently being warped into play. There should be also an observer trained up in time, as the cloaking field still has about 60 seconds to go. And yeah, that will be more than enough time to train up an observer off of that robotics facility, as the robotics facility is more than 2/3 or about 2/3 of the way completed at this point. Stalkers once again on the move, trying to activate this Onaga Watchtower. This one Hellion trying to get some extra damage onto that last Stalker. The beast before those Stalkers head up that ramp there, and now the Hellion just hanging around on that low ground. We do see one Stalker, one Sentry, and two Zealots here. So once again, a very, very nice combination as these Hellions once again try to back away and avoid those Stalkers. And so those Stalkers just sitting at this choke point over here as a Nexus, about, what, 3/4 of the way done. We do see a command center now being built over here, and now that Banshee is on the move. There is currently one... Oh, no, sorry, I thought that was a Banshee. And we should have one Banshee already in play, and now this Banshee just dancing back and forth between these locations. We should be having an observer coming online net, so that Banshee coming in cloaking, and now trying to get as much damage as possible, trying to pull away, and almost going to get taken down. There it goes. Down goes that cloaked Banshee, as a fresh new cloaked Banshee now going to come back in to get more harassment done. The Hellion now just outside testing the waters, figuring out exactly what these units are going to be moving out with. I believe TT1 does have, yes, the much larger army at this stage. But even though TT1 has the larger army, QXC is the one able to put on some aggression with these Banshees. So a second Banshee now joining in on this fight. The Observer does not see that Banshee just quite yet. The Banshee just hugging around that back corner. Now going to come in, going to quickly cloak, take down one probe. Is it going to be able to get enough damage dealt? No, the Stalker's now coming in, getting a lot of damage onto that Banshee. Banshee already down to 80 hit points, taking 3 rounds of attack. And now this one Banshee wants to perhaps get some more damage in, take down some of those, take down some of these units. Oh, now going after that Stargate. So if it's able to take down that Stargate, that would actually be interesting. But no, we should be getting a Phoenix or a Void Ray out of there. Yeah, Phoenix is now being trained. And I believe that we should have a transition away from Banshees, as QXC does have another Banshee hiding off in the over here on the bottom side of this cliff. And now QXC should not train up any more Banshees. It is not going to work, especially with Phoenixes in play. Phoenixes dealing 20 damage per attack against those Banshees, and also able to move an attack, moving much more quickly than those Banshees anyway. So I believe QXC needs to transition into something else. Taking a look at his production buildings, we do see that he is currently running off of 3 barracks, 2 factories, and 1 starport. So we may be getting into more of a mass marine play. Perhaps they're doing a reactor swap with the starport in order to get a stronger medevac presence, as medevacs would probably be a very, very strong and safe call at this stage. There are immortals down, there is no robotics bay, and now we just saw a fleet beacon. So a fleet beacon has been warped in, and now the fleet beacon should allow for the training of a mothership or getting that flux veins as well, but no, going for carriers. So TT1 now going for carriers, and also getting the graviton catapult in order to get those interceptors out and engaging much more quickly. Once again, the Phoenixes are in the air and looking and doing a lot of scouting. Marines trying to get underneath that one Phoenix. The Phoenix able to back off in time, and both players are running off of 2 bases. We are getting that combat shield currently, and now getting the level 1 weapons upgrade on those Marines. Marines with that level 1 weapons upgrade should be a strong counter against those carriers and against those Phoenixes. Very, very safe call coming in as that fleet beacon nearing completion on that research. And interestingly enough, the fleet beacon, the graviton catapult research actually is faster to research than it is to try to train up even 1 carrier. Carrier is taking 2 game minutes to build, and even with chrono boost, that is very, very difficult. Even with 3 successive chrono boost, it will still take 90 game seconds to build that, and that is just a long build time for carriers. However, carriers do come out with 4 interceptors that are essentially free, and so that should be a nice addition as opposed to StarCraft and Brood War. So currently sitting on 4 interceptors, and now training up even more interceptors, each interceptor taking 8 time to build. And now siege tanks trying to move out. We do see Phoenixes here, and now will these Marines be able to deal any damage? No, the Zealots assigned to move back. Very, very safe call, as those Marines could have tried to push in and then try to bait some of those zealots to attack, and then they would have taken more damage. The siege tanks, however, do not see any of these zealots currently warping in here. And we are now going into Vikings, also training up more and more interceptors once again. Siege tanks, QXC, just trying to make a very, very safe siege line. And now those Marines moving out, dealing a lot of damage very easily. And now in come those interceptors. Interceptors dealing so much damage. Marines trying to fight back against those interceptors. However, the interceptors, I wish I could actually see the hit points on an interceptor. I'm not 100%. I'm pretty sure that they regenerate their hit points the instant, or their shields, the instant they go back inside. So once again, Marines just trying to run in, stay rallied in, and now a lot of siege tanks trying to blast away. Stalkers on the ground, 2 carriers in the air. The carriers dealing a lot of damage, and now 10 damage per round of attack, and just simply wasting these Marines down. We do see some Vikings, and now the Terran infantry armor upgrade. Infantry armor upgrades are very critical, as those interceptors do attack 2 at a time. So by getting that level 1 armor upgrade, that reduces the amount of damage from an interceptor from 10 down to 8, which is a 20% decrease in damage. We should also see an armory coming online. There it goes. In order to get more and more infantry upgrades, infantry is a decent enough counter against carriers, as many Protoss players do not upgrade at the Cybernetics Core, and therefore do not have additional armors or additional weapons on those carriers. 0-0 carriers easily lose to 3-3 Marines just because of the upgrades themselves. If interceptors trying to take down those rocks will get taken down with no real problem, as more carriers are still being massed. We are now up to 3 carriers. We should have 5 carriers in just a moment, as 2 more carriers now being built, should be chrono boosted. We have a lot of energy sitting on these nexuses. So the Nexus is able to shave down 10 game seconds per chrono boost if you allow the chrono boost to go to full time. Level 2 infantry upgrades, level 1 ship plating. So the ship plating on those Vikings will allow them to take a lot more damage. Vikings naturally have 0 armor, so they do get shot down out of the sky relatively easily. But once again, with that level 1 armor upgrade, will essentially have 20% additional hit points when fighting carriers. So 4 carriers now joining this fleet. Level 1 ship upgrades now for the Protoss. So the Protoss air upgrades now coming online, and that will be absolutely critical and key in this upcoming fight. The backdoor rocks look like they will fall down in just a moment. Stalkers now getting in position and now trying to come out over here. We do see one SCV quickly getting taken down over there, as down goes and one of those supply depots, now trying to get some damage dealt onto these destructible rocks. No damage on those rocks anymore, as the units are now trying to pull back. And now TTOne just pretty happy with his positioning. He is taking up his 3rd base. Probes are being transferred over. Nexus will allow for a little bit of long distance mining, as these probes going to come in, scatter about, and then simply move along their way, and then try to return the minerals back all the way over here. By the time these probes return, they will in fact be able to mine more minerals from that gold location with a shorter mining distance. We now see this fleet of carriers currently sitting on 6. So 6 carriers now moving out, and now in comes a Hellion. The Hellion trying to get some damage dealt, only sitting on what? 1 Hellion, now able to get some damage, getting 2 quick kills there, so it is worth its weight in minerals, as that Hellion now trying to get more damage dealt, and I believe we'll be able to get a very, very nice line splash against some of those probes if it tries to. There is 1 photon cannon over here though, and down goes that Hellion. So wow, nicely done by TTOne. TTOne has dominating map control, as we are now getting Zealot Charge and more Interceptor Strength, but we are getting the level 2 infantry and level 2 weapons upgrade, in addition to the level 2 ship plating. So the ship plating will allow those carriers to reduce the amount of damage even further by those carriers, as those Marines are now trying to fight back. Vikings quickly just flying in and now dealing massive damage across those carriers. Carriers now falling out of the sky as this command center now trying to move out. Marines with that very, very fast stim, able to move underneath massive carriers very easily and continue to deal more damage. Another carrier now taken down there, and that was just a horrible, horrible positioning for TTOne. TTOne losing a lot of his army there, as these Marines are once again on the move. Back over here, we do see double observers. Backdoor rocks now being taken down in order to allow for units to be able to exit out of these backdoor rocks, and and now in comes another group of carriers. Carriers, however, move so slowly, the same movement speed as a Thor, and those Marines are just simply able to take them down so easily. Marines are upgraded to 1, and soon will be upgraded to 2. We now see a Dark Shrine coming online, so that Dark Shrine will be able to deal a lot of damage across multiple SCVs, siege tanks, and Marines, assuming that those Dark Templars are not revealed. However, we are getting a planetary fortress here, so we are not going to get any additional command center. As those Marines now moving out, Zealots now trying to come in, and now a massive number of carriers in the air trying to finish this off. The Zealots do not have Zealot charge yet, and I believe that was just a completely mistimed attack there. If he had chrono boosted and that Zealot charge one more time, perhaps that would have been enough damage to finish off those siege tanks, deal some damage across those Marines, and then allow the carriers to finish off the rest of the fight. Marines now going to try to come in, does have 1 medevac support, and now in come some of these Marines. Marines able to pick off one of those photon cannons very easily. Another group of Marines now trying to come in. Zealots now coming around that backside. The Zealots do have Zealot charge finally, as those photon cannons are trying to fight their way against this Marine army that is now upgraded 2-2. Soon will be upgraded 3-1, as these carriers are continuing to just try to run around the map, trying to get away. Probes now coming off the mineral line, as well as there are some Zealots trying to come in here. No Zealots, as I thought that was just an observer, as those Marines now backing off once again. Dark Templar coming in though, so Dark Templar getting off 2 kills. However, that Dark Templar was not worth its weight in minerals, not able to get off enough kills in order to make it worth its while, as these carriers once again try to engage Marines, and once again trying to get underneath. The pylon was taken down, so that photon cannon unable to offer any real support, and that carrier once again shot out of the sky. We are now getting the Mobius reactor and for those ghosts, and those ghosts will be able to have double function. The double function will be able to reveal Dark Templars with that EMP shockwave, and also be able to take down High Templar with Snipe and deny energy, as we are currently getting High Templars now. 2 additional Dark Templars now coming into play. However, the carrier once again getting shot out of the sky very easily and quickly getting taken down there. And now this last pylon over here trying, probes now coming off the mineral line. Probes, however, going to have a very difficult time, as those Marines have level 2 armor upgrades, and now Psystorm coming in, and now Mobius reactor nearing completion. So we should be getting a lot of ghosts coming online in just a moment. Dark Templars continuing to give that chase. Marines, and I believe the Dark Templars, have a faster movement speed, the same movement speed as a Stalker, so that will allow them to give chase to Marines and Marauders as long as they are not stimmed. Level 3 infantry upgrades, level 3 weapons upgrade nearing completion, more than 2/3 of the way, or 3/4 of the way done, as these Marines are just sitting here stimming. We now see 1 Dark Templar trying to come in, able to get a lot of damage dealt across, or no, not able to get any damage, as another scanner sweep now comes in, and now these High Templar are trying to back off. That Psystorm is almost completed, needs about another 30 seconds or so, and I believe that may be a little bit too long, as those Dark Templars are now able to deal a lot of damage. Once again, down goes another one of those Dark Templars. As we now have this carrier on this high ground, we are going to get a lot of Psystorm coming in just a second, and that is going to be absolutely key. And now you see those units deciding to back off and not trying to engage. TTOne saying, yeah, carriers are kind of bad. And then QXC says without upgrades. Look at mine. His are 3-2 Marines versus 1-0 carriers, and that is the reason why those units are just completely getting torn apart there, as more Stalkers now coming in. So Hellions able to get off some damage as well. No ship, no upgrades there, as the Ghosts are now being trained, and those Ghosts will be able to get off a lot of EMP shockwaves in just a moment. We now see observers being positioned all across the map. Marines trying to take down these rocks, as those Marines are now upgraded 3-2. Ghosts will be coming online in just a moment, and those Ghosts are going to be able to deal a lot of damage even towards Interceptors, dealing 26 damage, 26 damage per C10 canister rifle round, which I believe it says 2 shots to take down an Interceptor, and now out moves this army. So we do have a lot of High Templars here. High Templars and carriers now moving out. We do have a couple Marines now trying to come in. EMP shockwave just landing on top of those High Templars. And now that was just not a beautiful, that was a beautiful sight for a Terran player. I'm sure all the Protoss players out there just cringed, and now I'm sure they're going to say that EMP is just simply broken, but I think that was just well-placed EMP shockwaves with sight there. We now see that Bio Army just ripping through those Archons and Mass Marines, fully upgraded at 3-3, taking down carriers. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between TTOne and Root QXC here on Blistering Sands.